Today we're going to be reviewing the Foxwell NT624 scanner. It can read codes, it can clear codes just like you'd want in a scanner, but what's really awesome with the meat and potatoes of this is that it can detect all the modules on your car, and you can get in and look at live data and record live data. You can graph live data for all of the data that streams through your vehicle's computer system. You can print it out, you can bring it into a shop so you can say, this is what I'm seeing, can you help me? Or you can do the diagnosis yourself.
Now we're going to be getting into some detail with this review. We're going to be starting off with unboxing and getting started. We're going to get into the Foxwell software called FoxAssist. We're going to walk through the home screen and the maintenance reset on the scanner, as well as looking at the AutoVin feature to look up your specific control modules. We're going to look at live data monitoring, how to save that data, how to import it into Excel and create a data chart, and then at the end I'm going to tell you what you need to know and the caveats when considering this scanner, as well as the final review. Let's get started.
Now in terms of what's in here, you get a nice carrying case, you have some cord storage here that zips up, you have a little stretchy basket, as well as space for the scanner. Your serial port and OBD2 adapter cable. You have a USB to mini USB plug to plug the scanner into your computer. And then you have this USB stick to micro SD card, which is what I prefer to use for the data transfer once you start recording things. It's a really stout block of a product. It has the serial port output on the top going where you plug in your OBD2 cord. It has your removable micro SD card as well as the USB mini slot on the bottom. It has really thick, chunky rubber buttons with good tactile feedback. A nice big screen that you can wipe off easily. It's not an LCD that you have to be really sensitive about. On the back you have these really nice finger pockets that I've actually come to really appreciate, because when I've been holding this single-handedly, I can still get my fingers in here and navigate all of these buttons with one hand. I can do the same on this side. So, pretty stout little product.
So this is Foxwell's bread and butter software that they have for you. It's called FoxAssist, and it's actually extremely helpful. On here is where you're going to get your free software updates. As you can see, there's a pretty extensive list of all of the compatible vehicles, and suggests when there's an update available, you check the box for your brand, and you update it, and then you take the SD card and stick it into your scanner, and then it updates from there. You also go through here and you can register your product, and then this is also where the data manager is going to be, where your saved data files are, and that's what we'll get into in a little bit.
Getting started is easy enough. Go to your OBD2 port here, open it, there's your plug. This can, yes, scan engine codes, look up trouble codes, and erase engine codes. What you can also do is you can do AutoVin, and this will search the VIN of your car. It can do any car from 1996 up until present day. Anything with an OBD2, it can tap into the live data feeds of all the different modules and pull real-time data. What it can also do is give you shortcuts to recalibrating regular maintenance items for your car, such as your ABS cylinders, your BMS for your battery. This one's for diesel and particulates. This is for an electronic parking brake to retract the cylinder and the electronics. You don't damage it when you're replacing your brakes. This is your injector system to recalibrate it if you replace your injectors. This one is your regular oil life reset, your steering angle sensor, and your throttle position sensor. There are lots of different recalibrations you can do here, and you can do it all from this scanner instead of the secret combos of buttons and switches to press with Ford. On top of that, you can look at emissions related information. You can check your battery voltage, whether the car is on or off. You can see real-time data of your battery voltage. Right now my vehicle's on with the alternator on, idling is right around 14 volts. You can look up trouble codes just by toggling the numbers here. And then of course you can go in and change settings, view your data that you've saved, and then apply software updates as well. What you can also see is data based on what you're experiencing while driving. So you can go to diagnostics and sort your way through. You can go quickly to AutoVin. It says automatic VIN acquisition, and it'll pull up your VIN. Say yes, these are your selectors over here. So no for F1, yes for F3. So I'm going to press yes. I'm going to say America, Ford. And then this is the information for my escape. I'm going to say yes. And now I'm going to do a quick scan, and it's going to go through all the modules in the car. Oh, got a fault for body control module. We'll come back and see what that is. All right, so there are 13 modules up here that it looked for. I'm going to look at the body control module. I'm going to go down to read codes. Switch to on, make sure the engine's off, so I'm going to do that. Oh look, one of my license plates lights are out. But you can see how I went about that and went in and found it. So it wasn't a check engine light necessarily, it wasn't on my dash, but it pointed out to me that my license plate light was out. Now say that I replaced it, I would go down to clear codes, set the ignition switch to on, F3 for yes, clearing, codes cleared. Done. So what we just showed is that you can take this scanner and look into the different modules of the vehicle and scan each module to see if there's something wrong that normally wouldn't show up on the outside if you're just sitting in a car and checking it out. Now this also would apply and be very helpful if you're looking for a used vehicle and you go to show up and the guy says there's no check engine codes. Well, you can plug this in and see really what's going on under the surface. Very cool. So now I'm going to show you how this thing can go in and pull live data, and it is insane. We're going to go to control modules now instead of quick scan, and now we can look at each of the control modules in the vehicle and see real-time data. We're going to go down to live data here. And once that's loaded up, you can now look at every parameter that the powertrain control module sees. And I can scroll up and down with these arrows one at a time, and it's kind of painful, so what you can do is press side to side and you'll skip a set. And I can find my RPM here. So I'm just going to show you what you can do. I'm going to press OK. And so now you can see my RPM here. And you can see my throttle position of the pedal here. Now watch, I can show you, it can respond in real time. As I press the gas, you'll see the percent of the throttle being pressed change and the RPM go up. Now what's also cool is you can do graph. You can see this in real time. And this is just a simple example. You can chart all sorts of stuff on here. The graph can show, you can do one graph at a time, or you can do multi-graph by pressing F2. And it'll show two charts here. So it's hovering around my RPM here. Again, my position for throttle is 0 when I hit the gas. The data shows and trips in real time. But then you can put it on top of each other. You can merge the graphs, and that is really cool. Now this is just viewing in real time. This isn't saving, this is just monitoring. So if I want to save it on the SD card and push it out to Excel, I go back, and I press record now. And now when you press record, you can't see it in a graph, but you can see each of these times it changes, it's saving a value. And then when I stop it, I press F3, it's going to tell me to save it. I go down to the keyboard and I can go through the keyboard here and save it. I'm going to call it forward RPM, and then I'm going to press F3 to save it. All right, so now that data run that we just did is saved on the SD card. Now that was very short, so that chart's not going to look like much, but I'm going to show you a really cool chart that I pulled up after driving home one day and testing out the RPM versus the gear shifting. Let's get to that right now. All right, now to get out the micro SD card, you press it down once and it spits it out. And then you reach in and you remove it. Then you take your USB adapter.
Now we're in the data management part of the FoxAssist software. It makes it really nice to be able to push out in a filtered CSV file for Excel. I'm going to take this file that I've checked with the orange box here. I'm going to click Report. So it's going to show these data fields that I recorded. It's going to do these three here and show you how it exports. I'm going to click Confirm. But I'm going to click this button down here and click Export to CSV. I'm going to go to the desktop. I'm going to do Demo Video and click Open. Then I'm going to open Excel, Demo Video. So now if you've ever imported a CSV into Excel, you're going to get this, and it's asking Excel how to sort through the rows of text data to better organize it into columns and rows within the Excel software. And you can see the preview down here where the cursor is. You're going to see the names, actual output shaft speed, engine RPM, and gear commanded. So I'm going to go Next. Tell the software what to look for to know where to separate the values. So I'm going to click comma. And now you can see down here that the rows are now organized into very clean values. All right, now we're here, and I'm going to highlight these. I'm going to Control-C and copy them, and then right here I'm going to paste, but I'm going to paste transpose, and that now gives me my columns. I'm going to create an x-axis for these columns to run down. And then I go to Insert, I click the chart, and here we have a sweet chart. I'm going to move it to a new sheet. This is so cool. Now, what you're looking at with the blue and the orange the shaft speed going into the transmission from the engine, and the blue is the shaft speed coming out, which is why they follow the same trends. Right now, this is all on the same axis, so when you have gear speeds that are 1 through 6, but RPM that go up to 3,000, add a secondary axis. Now, this is where it gets really cool. The trend for the gray is the gear shift. First gear, second gear, third gear, fourth gear. I only got up to fourth gear when I was doing this test recording. You can see where the gear shift happens and where the trend of the orange changes relative to the blue. So it's really, really fascinating.
you now have proof that something is happening. You can bring it to a shop where they say if they can't reproduce the issue, you can say, well, this is what I'm seeing. You can make a really nice clean chart with the data exported from this scanner, and I think that that is fantastic.
So even though there are many reasons to sing praises for this scanner, I do want to reiterate that there is a learning curve to it to use it well. First off, to remember that this scanner is not going to solve your problems for you. This is a tool to look deeper into your car, but you still got to think and do the detective work. It'll tell you codes and faults that the computer already sees. Look at the trend to see what might not be working together right. You still got to put the pieces together, which I think is cool because you got to learn about your car. It's not an easy button. Secondly, you got to be a little patient because it takes time to load all the data in those different modules. Just going through serial port and OBD2, it's not lightning fast. It's just hardwired tech, but it's good information. It's worth the wait.
Something we also found out about the micro SD card, as you can see here, there's almost 10 gigabytes consumed by just the existing firmware on work with the scanner. Now keep in mind the data files that you store are going to be very small. It's going to take a long time to fill up 5.3 gigs. If you do want to upgrade to a larger size card, I did confirm with tech support that it's possible, but you just have to transfer the formatting up to the next step of the card, but they can help you with that.
Also, if you're going to be looking into this for data evaluation and you're going to use Excel, you got to know a little bit of how to use Excel. Finally, there was one hiccup that I had that I'm still trying to better understand. I lost a data stream that I was recording one time because I thought I saved it after I entered the text for the file name in the scanner, but after I unplugged everything, went to import it into my computer, I didn't see the file name in the saved data folder. But I would still recommend to wait a second after you press save before you back out of everything to make sure that the data actually saved on the unit. But if you can handle all that, this is a sweet tool to have in your garage and keep in your car because you can use it for any of your cars, and it's extremely versatile with free updates. I don't think you're going to get that for many other scanners out there for this price point. So for all of those reasons, I would recommend the scanner. Check out the Foxwell NT624. We'll have it in the link in the description below if you're interested. Thanks for watching How to Escape. We'll see you next time.